You want to be an interior designer without necessarily going to college? Let's talk about it. Today's Train Your Eye exercise, again, this beautiful room from Pinterest, is about identifying the specs, which means identifying every tiny, teeny detail that you can possibly find and imagine in a space. For example, details like my gray hairs. And speaking of, are we pro me letting this go gray naturally thing happen? Are we pro this? We like the silver? If you do not train yourself to identify the specs from a very young age, just kidding, this has nothing to do with age, but from the very start of you wanting to be an interior designer or interest in an interior design career or adjacent career path, if you do not learn how to identify every little detail, you will not then be capable of deciding, implementing, designing every little detail that is needed. When you train yourself to recognize every single little detail that you can find and train your brain to realize those are decisions. They're not coincidences that is the way that it is. Somebody decided on every stitch, on every piece of fabric, on every direction of the fabric, on every pattern, every direction of the pattern, on the width of something, the height of something, the placement of something, the thickness of something, the shine or finish or lacquer or seal of something, the grouting of something, the framing of something. Are we getting the trend here? You need to train yourself to recognize these decisions and these specs, because then you're going to be in the decision-making seat and you're going to need to decide all these things, because you know what happens when you don't decide them? Somebody else does, and it doesn't match what you want. One of the biggest irritating moments of my design career was when I realized that my team had missed a detail, a spec in a nursing home lobby. We had gorgeous tiles that were going, if I remember correctly, on the walls. Nobody had specced the schluter, the transition between the tiles and the walls, or the edging frames of the entryways. So the contractor decided. And this was a kind of vintage inspired, actually similar colors to this room, this lobby. And it had, aged brass, muted browns, beiges, and he did shiny silver transitions. And it just didn't work. But we were stuck with it. Luckily, the client didn't care. I cared. We were stuck with it because somebody didn't think of all the specs, all the design decisions. That's your responsibility, but it's also good for you, because that way your design is showcased how you mean it to be. And every little differentiation in a spec is a change in the energy, in the environment, in the color temperature. Really quickly, how many specs do you see in this sofa? Just the sofa.